Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next 30 minutes. President Zelenskiy says Ukraine's victory plan against Russia depends on quick decisions by allies this year. Russia says West should stop arming Ukraine if it wants to settle conflict. With eyes on economy, Sri Lankans to vote for president in a tightly contested election on Saturday. And India on track to be the third largest economy by 2030-31, says an S&P global report. India's Sensex and Nifty scaled new peaks on Friday. The European Union chief Ursula von der Leyen arrived in Kyiv on Friday to offer support ahead of winter as both Russia and Ukraine continue with bombings and attacks on energy infrastructure on either sides. The European Union chief met the Ukrainian president to discuss Europe's support, winter preparedness and defense. During her visit, Ursula announced that EU will grant a loan of $39 billion to Ukraine as part of the G7 pledge.
Has adopted proposals that will enable the European Union to lend 35 billion euros from the G7 pledge. This is a huge step forward. We are now confident that we can deliver this loan to Ukraine very quickly, a loan that is backed by the windfall profits from immobilized Russian assets.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held discussions with the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and said that Ukraine's victory plan in the conflict against Russia depends on quick decisions by allies this year.
All the details I will discuss first of all with the President of the United States. Most of the decisions from the plan depend specifically on him, on other allies too, but there are certain points which depend on the goodwill and support of the United States. I hope he supports his plan. The entire plan is predicated upon quick decisions from our partners. The plan is predicated upon decisions which should take place from October to December and not delaying this process. We really want to see this. We want then consider then the plan has worked.
On the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, spokesperson of the Russian Foreign Ministry on Friday said that to settle the conflict, West should stop supplying weapons to Ukraine.
As soon as they stop supplying arms to the Kyiv regime and sponsoring the terrorist activities of Bankova, then it can be perceived as a signal for political and diplomatic settlement.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a 3-day visit to the United States of America from September 21st to 23rd. During the visit, he would join world leaders at the upcoming Quad Summit, which is expected to address pressing global issues, including the situation in Ukraine. US President Joe Biden is set to welcome leaders from India, Australia and Japan in Wilmington, Delaware for a Quad Leaders Summit. Discussions will center on conflicts in the South China Sea, enhance security cooperation in the Indian Ocean and efforts to track illegal fishing fleets. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz's Social Democratic Party, SPD, stronghold Brandenburg, goes to polls on Sunday. The upcoming polls is a strong contest between Scholz's party and far-right party Alternative for Germany, AfD, in a region ruled by SPD for more than 3 decades. While Scholz's centre-left party closely trails behind the AfD, which has a narrow lead in polls. Coming a year ahead of a national election, the vote could trigger a party backlash against Scholz, or if the SPD holds the state, confirm him as their candidate for 2025. On to Asia. The people of Sri Lanka are set to vote for a new president on Saturday in an election that will be key in deciding the future reforms in the country that is reeling under an unprecedented economic crisis. A total of 38 candidates are in the fray, whose fate will be decided by 17 million voters in preferential voting system. The front-runner candidates have expressed confidence of a victory, while experts say that no candidate may get a majority in the first round of counting. The Election Commission has said that efforts will be made to ensure that the final results of the election are declared on Sunday, even if the election moves to a second preference count. Incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe is seeking re-election, while he's being challenged by Samagi Jan Balvegeya candidates Sajit Premadasa and Anura Kumara Disanayake from National People's Power Alliance. Next, we take a look at other stories making news around the world. Thousands marched in Mexico to mark the 10th anniversary of the disappearance of 43 students from a rural university in Guerrero, as their families hope the new president-elect Claudia Sheinbaum will fully reopen the case. The Ayotzinapa students are believed to have been massacred, highlighting one of Mexico's worst human rights atrocities amid ongoing drug violence that has left over 100,000 people missing. In a historic visit by a South Korean president in 9 years, Yoon Suk-yeol is on a 4-day visit to Czech Republic. Yoon held a meeting with his Czech counterpart Petr Pavel. The two leaders agreed to step up cooperation in all areas of economy and security, as the two sides will mark 10 years of bilateral strategic ties next year. London's high-end department store Harrods has apologized to several former female employees who had worked with the department between 1985 and 2010 for failing to stand up for them. These women alleged that the late former owner, Mohammed Al-Fayed, had raped and sexually assaulted them. The
historic achievement in the national food security, securing the top position in the Food Security Index for the second consecutive year. This honor comes from the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. Kerala first achieved this rank last year and has successfully maintained it through strong efforts.
It means a lot to our state, because as a state we are taking lots of initiatives to ensure food safety in our state, and not only enforcement activities but also the analytical part. We take a lot of care and we try to ensure the best food safety in our state. So it means a lot actually.
The National Food Security Index is compiled by evaluating operational excellence across various awareness programs. Tamil Nadu, Jammu and Kashmir completed the podium.
Because this UT of J&K is a very small place, and getting this recognition from the FSSAI is really a great achievement for us. Our Commissioner of Food and Drug Administration has tightly worked and followed up with the team, and successfully we have achieved the Food Safety Index 3rd position all over India. It's a great moment for all of us.
Gujarat too got a special mention and award for the best food practices. Nagaland backed the honours from the Northeast region.
Recognition reflects the support we get at all levels, right from political level, the government level, the department level, and right down to the district health authority level. And we are very glad, we are very proud. In fact, we are humbled and motivated to do better in the days to come.
The state rankings is attributed to excellence in over 40 areas related to food safety. Various awareness initiatives have also played a significant role in this success. Anil Thomas, DD India, New Delhi.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. UNICEF says a significant number of Mpox cases in Burundi have been reported in children under 5. Jasprit Bumras becomes the 10th Indian bowler to complete 400 wickets as India dominate the Chennai Test. And singer Kylie announces world tour starting February 2025. All that and more on the other side.
We need to look at waste as a resource. There are many possibilities and opportunities here, starting from the water that we use to brush our teeth in the morning and the shirt on your back.
We are always proposing a hybrid sort of operation where you're blending in technology where it's useful.
This recycling unit helps us to save 30 to 60% of the drinking water, and we were able to prove that it saved not only water, but energy too.
Till now, which was considered as a waste, we are now adding value to it, which is increasing the farmers' income. At the same time, it's raw material for a different line of production as well.
I rework materials and use them to make carpets and other items. You could say we're recycling the fabrics.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the National Prime Minister Vishwakarma program in Wardha in the western Indian state of Maharashtra on Friday. The Indian Prime Minister opened a grand exhibition in Wardha on Friday. The expo put up a display of all 18 trades run under the Prime Minister Vishwakarma scheme. Prime Minister Modi released certificates and loans to PM Vishwakarma beneficiaries and also released a commemorative stamp dedicated to mark 1 year of progress under Prime Minister Vishwakarma scheme. It provides a holistic and end-to-end support to artisans and craftspeople for skill training and modern tools. The scheme was launched on September 17th last year. Prime Minister Modi also laid the foundation stone of various projects, including that of a textile park in Amravati, and launched the Acharya Chanakya Skill Development Centre scheme and the Punya Shlok Ahilya Devi Holkar Women Startup scheme. Prime Minister Modi addressed the event and taking a jibe at the opposition there, he called the Congress party the most corrupt party in the country.
आज जो कांग्रेस हम देख रहे हैं, ये वो कांग्रेस नहीं है जिससे कभी महात्मा गांधी जी जैसे महापुरुष जुड़े थे। आज की कांग्रेस में देशभक्ति की आत्मा दम तोड़ चुकी है। आज की कांग्रेस में नफरत का भूत दाखिल हो गया है। आप देखिए, आज कांग्रेस के लोगों की भाषा, उनकी बोली विदेशी धरती पर जाकर उनके देश विरोधी एजेंडे, समाज को तोड़ना, देश को तोड़ने की बात करना, भारतीय संस्कृति और आस्था का अपमान करना, ये वो कांग्रेस है जिसे टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग और अर्बन नक्सल के लोग चला रहे हैं। आज देश की सबसे बेईमान और सबसे भ्रष्ट कोई पार्टी है तो वो पार्टी कांग्रेस पार्टी है। देश का सबसे भ्रष्ट परिवार कोई है तो वो कांग्रेस का शाही परिवार है।
The Government of India is gearing up to host the World Audio Visual and Entertainment Summit, or WAVES, early next year from 5th to 9th of February to bolster India's media and entertainment industry and extend its global influence. Speaking at a roadshow to promote WAVES at the Jawaharlal Nehru Architecture and Fine Arts University in Hyderabad today, India's Information and Broadcasting Secretary Sanjay Jaju said that WAVES would be the first ever global summit covering the entire gamut of media and entertainment industry.
To nurture, nourish and scale up opportunities for our young people, young creators, with the help of various industry associations, we have launched 25 challenges, and these 25 challenges run across various categories, which include, creating comic characters, creating animes, creating animations, creating reels, and all those areas where you all can make use of your talent.
On to some business news. A report released by S&P Global on Thursday stated that India is set to become the third largest economy by the fiscal year 2030-31. The projected annual fiscal growth rate is 6.7% this year. India recorded an 8.2% growth in the fiscal year to March 2024. The country's foreign inflows into bonds have surged after India joined the major emerging market index. The report states that the gross portfolio inflows are estimated to be between 20 to 30 US billion dollars over the next 2 years. As per the report, there is a need to address infrastructure issues such as irrigation, storage and supply distribution to ensure food security and economic stability, as food price inflation due to rise in climate risks could constrain monetary policy. Meanwhile, the US-India Partnership Forum head John Chambers had said that Indian economy will probably be 90 to 100% larger than China by the end of the century. Analyzing India's growth and the current share market situation, the chairman emeritus of Cisco expressed optimism on India-US partnership. With PM's vision of investments in technologies like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity and semiconductors, India has the potential to become a major global economic player, he said. PM Modi's third term will see the framework for growth of innovation in the country. Chambers also said that collaboration between the two nations will significantly boost their economies. State-owned Solar Energy Corporation of India, SECI, has committed to invest 180 billion rupees, equivalent to $2.16 billion, in renewable capacity expansion by 2030. With plans to tender 20 gigawatt of projects this fiscal year, SECI supports India's goal of adding 500 gigawatt of clean energy by 2030. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya spoke with SECI chairman R.P. Gupta.
Now we are well on our course to achieve the targets of 2030, and I am sure that by 2070 we would definitely be carbon neutral and net zero emission. We have been contributing in it by trying to see that this transition is not costly, it is affordable. The energy, renewable energy, is made accessible to everybody.
What kind of renewable energy we are talking about? You guys are into solar energy. At the same time, we spoke about electrolyzer, wind energy and other aspect of renewable energy. Please share some thoughts. What kind of gigawatt we are exactly looking at?
See, gigawatt targets for the country are committed for 500 gigawatts. Now, it will come from different sources of renewable energy. Solar being one of them, wind, the hydropower, these are all, and then biothermal, bioenergy, these are all components of renewable energy. Major contribution is likely to come from solar, but other hydrogen is generated or is produced using the solar energy, using the renewable energy or any kind of energy. So hydrogen itself is not an energy, but it is one form of storage and also a industrial product. It helps in decarbonizing number of sectors and also acts as a medium of energy storage.
So that was the Chairman Managing Director of SECI saying that they are committed to take India to become carbon net neutral by 2070 and working in tandem with other agencies for the same. With camera person Sanjeev, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
And at the Indian stock markets, the benchmark indices closed at record highs on Friday, with the Nifty 50 surging 1.5% to 25,791. The Sensex at the BSE climbed 1,359 points to end at 84,544. The broader market also posted massive gains as the Nifty Midcap Index rose 857 points to reach 60,209. Nifty Bank hit a record high after 55 trading sessions, boosted by the performance of major banks. The Indian rupee strengthened and closed at a high for the third straight season. The Indian rupee settled at 83 rupees 55 paise against the US dollar on Friday. India hosts the second edition of Global Food Regulators Summit during September 19th to 21st in New Delhi. Delegates of more than 70 countries brainstorm on key regulations. DD India's Anil Thomas has filed this report.
After the success of the first edition last year, the Global Food Regulator Summit 2024 is back and is hosted by India. Delegates from over 70 countries and 30 international organizations, including food safety regulators and those from risk assessment authorities, research institutes and universities participate in the summit.
We face a complex array of challenges, from persistent foodborne illness to emerging concerns such as nutraceutical safety, novel foods, and the microplastics in our food chain, all while striving for sustainability. This demands continuous collaboration, relentless innovation, and a commitment to constant improvement in our food safety systems. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and FSSAI have been playing a pivotal role in developing standards, keeping in mind international trade, evolving food production processes, and changing consumption patterns.
The two-day summit discusses and prepares strategy on key regulatory issues. The summit brings together the best minds to discuss food safety for the world. State Food Safety Index was also released.
Food itself is a medicine and medicine is food. That is how we should consume. So purity of food should be the main goal of the society and the governments. Food safety and the food quality both are equally important to enhance the export potential of India to make Bharat a brand in the global food sector.
The launch of two digit platforms, Food Imports Rejection Alert and Food Imports Clearance System 2.0, was also done in the inaugural ceremony.
Well, we've just had the opening session. I think it's clear about the political leadership that India is showing and bringing food regulators together. There are very few summits and opportunities we have to bring together food regulators from across the globe to look at common and shared problems and what solutions might be. So I'm hoping for great things.
To applaud the government of India for initiating the creation and the sustainability of this Global Food Regulators Forum. It's clearly a great opportunity since its launch with India's leadership at the G20 summit, basically to bring together the regulators from all over the world and to discuss the challenges for food safety and food security and to find the solutions mainly through collaboration and bringing together all the forces such that we can have a regulatory environment that supports the safety of consumers globally.
The conclave's focus is on enhancing regional cooperation and collaboration in the standard-setting process within the Codex Commission. This will provide a dedicated platform for Asian countries to discuss food safety, trade and regulatory challenges unique to the region. The summit looks to build a cohesive network for ensuring food safety. Anil Thomas, DD India, New Delhi.
Next, an update on the Mpox situation in Africa. A significant number of Mpox cases in Burundi have been reported in children under 5, making up nearly a third of infections, according to the UNICEF. The outbreak has been especially severe in Africa, with Burundi being the second hardest hit country after the Democratic Republic of Congo.
And I must say, from what I've seen, children in Burundi are bearing the brunt of the Mpox outbreak with alarming rates of infection and health impact. Of particular concern for us as UNICEF is the rise of Mpox among children under 5 years. This represents about 30% of the reported cases, and this underscores the urgent need for targeted interventions. And I must say, from what I've seen,
now, an update from the cricketing field. India dominated day 2 of the ongoing first test match against Bangladesh. India scored 81 runs for 3 wickets at stumps on day 2 in the second innings after they bowled out the visitors for 149 runs. Indian bowlers just blew away Bangladesh's top order for a paltry total. Bangladesh's top order succumbed, with Jasprit Bumras being the leader of the attack, taking 4 wickets, while Akashdeep and Jadeja scalped 2 wickets each. Shakib Al Hasan and Liton Das calmed things down for Bangladesh briefly in the second session, but both fell shortly. Shakib fell on 32, while captain Nazmul Hossain Shanto scored 20. Earlier on day one, India managed to put 376 runs, a total built around excellent knocks by Ravichandran Ashwin, who scored 113 in 133 balls, while Jadeja scored 86 runs in 124 balls. And fast bowler Jasprit Bumrah achieved a major milestone on day 2 of the test match. Bumrah became only the 10th Indian bowler and the 6th pacer from the country to complete 400 wickets across all formats in international cricket. Bangladesh's Hassan Mahmood became Bumrah's 400th victim at the highest level. Jasprit Bumrah continued his dominant run in home conditions, picking up 3 wickets in the first 2 sessions on Friday. Bumrah struck in his first over, sending back Bangladesh opener Shadman Islam after rattling the left-handers off stump. He then added 2 more to his tally, dismissing M. Rahim and Mahmood in the second session. And our final story comes from the world of music. Australian singer Kylie Minogue has announced a world tour starting in her home country in February next year, after which she'll be heading to Asia and the United Kingdom, with other countries set to be announced. Early this year, Minogue won her 2nd Grammy for the Best Pop Dance Recording, and she was named as this year's Brits Global Icon. Her 16th studio album Tension came out last year, while the 2nd album titled Tension the Second is set to be released on October 18th this year. So that's it for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles, and of course you can download our mobile app on iOS and Android platforms. So we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from my entire team here in Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.